Hello everyone, I'm Overhaul, and today we'll be reviewing Fire Force, chapter 242. The usual disclaimer in the beginning of my videos. I am not a kid-specific channel. I do not aim at a demographic, meaning that a lot of my content might come off more mature, either saying things that are too mature, or describing things that are too mature. Needless to say, there's no censoring. So if you're a child, I would advise you not to watch this. As for everyone else, let's get on with the chapter review. So before we get into the chapter, I feel like I might just have to address something for the people who are concerned, who don't want to see Fire Force ending. Now let me explain. The whole thing that about Volume 30 that Okukubata stated that he is planning the story to go up to could be what he expected the story to go to. I mean, I know there's the whole ending of chapter 207 with Arrow and, these are kind of the final fights. But honestly, I feel like we have most likely until the end of the next year, if not even slightly into 222 before the story could end. There's a lot of things that still have to be explained, still a lot of things fights we have to see, and fights who are probably not gonna be rushed, unless if we have Bleach, the thing where the final couple of fights feel like completely rushed nonsense to a point you're asking, why did you have to rush it? You're just gonna lose sales on the volumes. But I feel like it's planned out in a way that was originally supposed to be shorter, but now it's longer. So the fact that there's volume 26 now, expected to be somewhere around 31, 32. There's still a lot of content before we get to the end of the story. We're just approaching very close to where Okubo originally intended to. But anyways, with that volume thing out of the way, let's get into the chapter properly. So yeah, most of this chapter is pretty much just Ugon versus Charon. And there are a couple of scenes that don't have that, but again, most of it is just Ugon versus Charon. The beginning of it is more supposed to be more of a comedy beginning with Arthur just sitting there waiting for Dragon while everyone else deals with the Infernals. We see Ubo killing Obi, not Ugon, Obi, killing a couple of Infernals and checking to see if Ugon is alright. And I was getting more into Ugon's character. Now, the thing we have to take away from this scene is honestly the fact that Obi and Hinowa did want Ugon to be a part of the 8. I feel like some people might ask, why were Shinra and Arthur taken but Ugon wasn't? Well, it's because although they did request him, and Hinowa even states that, honestly, we would prefer him over Shinra and Arthur, which Mark is Lieutenant, do not say that in front of Arthur. And Obi was like, no, don't say it. But the funniest part is definitely where Arthur's makes sense. I feel like a lot of people would definitely say that Ugon was, and he isn't as massive of a powerhouse. Because I feel like even if you're a fan of Ugon, you have to say that Shinra and Arthur would kick his ass. No, my apologies to the Ugon fans, it's just that it's kind of true. So, yeah, even though Arthur basically says he's capable, it makes sense why. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it originally was supposed to be intended for Ugon to be a part of the 8th. I don't believe there was any I don't believe there's any kind of a retrospect what on the characters, what were their original intents and what they are now. But yeah, we get this confirmation that Ugon was wished by Obi and Hinowa to have been a part of the 8, but he wasn't. So yeah. Then after that scene, and there's also another joke with characters being shocked how, my god, Arthur is okay with basically saying that we preferred Ugon over Arthur and Shinra. But yeah. Now they make that kind of like a bro type of a trio thing where they're like, yeah, now let's fight and get ready to get Shinra back. Referring to Dragon versus Arthur that we're gonna get eventually. But yeah, it's back to Charon versus Ugon. And then we see like a bunch of cool like punches and deflects. It's a pretty standard combat. The only noteworthy thing is that Ugon punches Charon and then he gets blown back and he comments about Charon's ability. Like, is he like a walking bomb? Since you punch him and then you get blown back. So yeah, for the most part, Ugon is doing pretty well. Like, he's not giving Charon any like huge problem, but he's not exactly on the losing streak. But yeah, he continues the fight, and then we find Ugon's backstory. And the backstory is that sometime after the first cataclysm, I'm going to assume immediately after that, Ugon's ancestor was a captain on a ship that was transporting immigrants from, I'm guessing, all over the world into where the Tokyo Empire is now. Like, he was the one, the people. I'm guessing that if we get like more of an in-depth backstory, I wouldn't be surprised if his name the Ugon's ancestor's name was something related to like that whole. I'm not exactly sure the name of the character, but I know there's a religious story where a person built a giant ship where everyone was making fun of him for like his animals, and he did that, and then they like transport it. I may just rewatch South Tacking's Fishman Island videos, but I'm guessing that's going to be the name of the character, or what I'm guessing is supposed to be being like reference here, since there's the whole there's a lot of Christian religious aspects put in. I mean, just look at Shinra, for God's sakes. Like, the whole history awkward story with Shu was pretty much like Jesus. Shinra is Jesus. So yeah, so I'm guessing that's what's going to be referencing here, and we see a bunch of like different characters. Like, it's not like there's not like a bunch of pages with these, but the general idea is these are like immigrants from all over the world. They are from poor, they are rich. Like, there was no discrimination. The basic idea was go on the ship so we can go on an island that will be livable and we will be able to prosper. Which is also referenced, who also states that the water was very dangerous and very unsailing. Basically, I'm guessing that Ugon's ancestor was probably some high-ranking individual in the Navy or on the ships, because we also see a couple of more ship, I believe one more ship behind that in the chapter. And he also states that his ancestor was like singing I'm not sure, some kind of love song to like calm people. To like make sure you don't panic, since you're on a ship. Some of them probably never even wanted to be on a ship, or maybe was scared of sailing, and now they have to sail on what could potentially be the final couple of hours before they die. Now, another important part about this backstory is that it's referencing the fact that Ugon's ancestor was the one who transported the man that Raffles was to Tokyo. I'm not sure if that is supposed to mean that a human Ruffles was taken there, and then that's where Ruffles began his caravan, and that's when you possessed and made the whole doppelganger of Ruffles, or if Ruffles was already the one who we know Ruffles as, and he was just transporting him. I'm not sure the details on that. Maybe again, I'm expecting if it is going to be explained more. I feel like it's probably going to be explained the time exactly. The only thing I also want to comment about this is the fact that this is like the second character who has indirectly kinda helped the White Clad since, wait, I just remember something. Amaterasu was found by Raffles. meaning that Amaterasu would probably also have been on that ship. Huh. So, anyways, so Ugan's ancestor is also responsible for the whole White Clad, as well as like Vulcan's ancestors are responsible for Amaterasu. And similar, the two of them just do it because of their kindness, and that's how it's used. I'm not sure if there's like a deeper theme going on, like how evil will use the goodness of our people in some twisted way, but it's not just an observation I made. So yeah, Charon is completely like against the whole notion. Like he's not, he doesn't respect Ugan or anything, although I don't believe we got any respect on that, but he's like, it doesn't matter. Happiness, kindness, like saving people's lives, that's literally nothing. There's this salvation is destruction as well. Since he wants to like destroy the world to bring kind of joy to Haumea, it's unclear yet. So yeah, we have a fight, and there's also that kind of like a cool bro moment where Uga is offer like, we'll bring Shinra back. And he'll be like, yeah. And then Uga goes, Flame Ink! And I'm pretty sure every Uga fan completely and utterly dropped their fudge. And when I say Uga fan, I don't mean people who just like Uga as a character. I'm talking about people who legitimately hope that he appears as many times as he wants to. The people who will, literally do what I do whenever I see Arrow. Just swoon over and fall unconscious. But yes. So we see Flaming Actor and Uga goes to fight. Now, this is, I believe, the form that's the reason why people think Uga can, like, fight on par, or fight, I guess, decently against Burns. So it's really exciting, but I'm guessing kind of either surprisingly or unsurprisingly, it depends where you fall on the spectrum. Charon doesn't, like, take the hit what Ugan expected. Charon grabs Ugan's hand, flips him on his back, and then flame stomps him. And then the chapter ends with Shinua, Obi, Arthur looking at that. I'm guessing kind of scared. I'm guessing Obi, Hinoa, it's kind of hard to tell. And Arthur's just kind of displeased by the situation. And just asks, who's next? And you gotta get this typical, like, end of the chapter type of narration, like, ooh, how can they defeat this Bringer of Destruction? What technique? But, yeah. Alright, let's talk about this. It makes sense that Charon would do this to Uga. Like, Charon, the fifth pillar arc basically said so much. With Charon saying things like, you know my ability, so what? You know it. And then after Shinra counters the ability, counters Charon's counter, he says, do you really think I'll fall for the same trick twice? So yeah, it's clear from the fifth pillar arc that Charon is not one of those one-trick ponies where they have like a very intimidating and a very powerful move, and it's not supposed to be taken lightly, and they know how to use it, which is even worse. But once you get around that, you are pretty good. So yeah, it's very clear that Charon being able to do this to Ugan makes sense. It was built up and it's believable. Now, is Ugan that or defeated? Basically. I don't think so. For one, I would assume this form that allows him to go confirmed against demons, and I would personally say that demon we saw in Chinese Peninsula, that's Venom, in case you're wondering. I feel like that demon was amongst the stronger class of demons, like not the average demon, needless to say. And Uga was dealing pretty good against it. In fact, the problem was more that he didn't have like a finishing blow against it and a time limit. So I would definitely say that this will not defeat Ugan in his flaming mode. Like, it's impressive, not getting me wrong, and not having to joke along with, and probably could kill like a majority of the cast present, but I don't think it's over. Honestly, the only thing I feel like I was supposed to do is just get rid of Ugon's shirt so he could show us his ripping abs. If, I guess, for females in this fan service and gay man. I don't really care that much, honestly, but, well, it would look cooler look that way. So yeah, I would not honestly expect the next chapter to like just have like a dialogue where Ugon's like, "Is this all what you got, brother?" Something like that. I could always imagine that happening. So I don't think he's done. I feel like we are gonna get to see like it's very uncommon for manga in general to have like a character just be beaten without us even seeing the aftermath in the end of the chapter. Like I feel like it's law at this point that if a character is defeated by a villain, we at least see their defeated body in the same chapter. Not in the next chapter or the beginning of the next chapter. I feel like Ugon will show up. There are some people who are theorizing that Ugon dodged this because we see like a little streak of light going past it, but I don't believe that form is supposed to be this kind of supersonic levels of speed. But I would definitely, I give it more invulnerability than anything else, honestly. So yeah, this chapter was short. It was mostly just fights and a little bit of Ugon's backstory, but that's pretty much it. It's a fun chapter to read on the weekend or when you have to wait and school for a test. Well, I suppose that time you would be studying, but who knows what the heck people are doing anymore at school. I'm not following it at all. So yeah. Now, just to discuss the next chapter's title. Now, I'm not exactly remember exactly what the title was, but I think the title was something like The Three of Us or something along those lines. The Three. I'm guessing this is like to go the backstory and the relationships between Shinra, Ugon, and Arthur, since we know those three were kind of like the best fan trio when they were in school together. Like, we know they were together. It was confirmed. I'm not sure it was shown any bit of it in Chinese, but in the versus the Company 4, it was shown they were together. So I'm guessing this is just supposed to be like, the next chapter is going to be more like a backstory. So I could honestly imagine the next chapter not having Ugon. In fact, I would imagine the next two chapters not to have Ugon in it. Or the fight resuming it. Resuming it just the backstory part, and then like Ugon at the end of the next chapter, the next chapter, he says, "Hey, Charon, this is not over, bro." And they get in the fire, and then maybe we get the final showdown. Now again, Sendo Manager is that this chapter also puts a note on Charon's ability, like what technique could go overcome Charon. And I think the hint to this technique is Flame Ink or something that Ugon can do, because when he did that whole, I don't know what's the wrestling move called, where he put Ugon on the back, he stated, "There's something that I just cannot, there's something tells me that I should not let this hit me." What could this mean? I'm not sure. Maybe right in this current state that Flame Ink is like one punch is basically what could be equivalent to half a nuke, meaning that if he got like a barrage attack by Ugon with his flaming, would be like way more powerful than what Nataku did in the Hajime industry. Since, I mean, again, our limit for Charon right now is a nuke that could destroy multiple cities that he deflected up to the moon. That's not exactly a small feat, and we don't even know how much more powerful he is now because of the cataclysm, a dollar coming together. So anything that's not either half the power of that nuke, even half I would say, is not going to work, is anything but effective. So yeah, those are my thoughts on what the next chapters are gonna be, and my thoughts on this chapter. So tell me in the comments below, what do you think? How do you think the next thing's gonna go? And anything else. And that's it. I hope you like this video. I hope you leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And that's it. I can't wait to see all the people next time. Bye.